Hello everyone, it's Vivek here again. So today we will have a continuation of what we had left in the last class, that is the technological advancements of an airline industry. Technological advancements. So what are these technological advancements here? Technology in a sense is being applied in a broader perspective because technology is everywhere. The mobile phone that you use, the computers that you use, the AC that is here, or your car, your two-wheeler, everywhere technology is being deeply implied. Without technology, you cannot even imagine of operating an electronic device. So here, we are not talking about in a micro way, we are talking about in a macro way. That is, how technology affects the airline industry. Here we are going to see what are the technological advancement strides. Strides means the advancement. What are the breakthrough inventions that airline industry has done in the previous 70 years or 80 years or in 100 years that has helped us to better the industry. So today we will see what are the technological advancements. Before going to the factors, that is also an important area, but before going to that, we will first see what are the three sides of an airport. There are like three. Even if you are like going and attending an airline interview, you will be asked an important question by the airline, by the employer. That is, explain what is an airport. What are the different areas in an airport? So when you have been asked this question, you have to first say that, yes sir, there are three different areas in an airport. One is air side, terminal side and land side. So these three areas are being divided in a way which the passenger has to cross. First of all, we will see what is air side. Just please go to page number 24, where air side has been mentioned. Air side is actually an area where the aircraft comes, lands, and it is also used to take off. So it has a slew of technology. That means a number of technological or electronic gadgets which has been installed on the ground. I will come to that one by one. What are the gadgets being used there? Airside has a key role in functioning of an airport. Okay, we will explain it later. What is airside? And now we will come to the terminal. Terminal is actually the building where I think most of us who hasn't even taken a flight has seen a terminal building. Yes, terminal buildings are the buildings that you see outside of an airport, and it is being used to get into the airside. It is a building. It's nothing to think about. It is just a building which has been used to do the check-in, boarding, and all those things. It is also used to give maximum user experience. That is passenger experience which the airline and the airport has to give. I would say a 50 or 70 years back, let us take the example of Calicut Airport. When Calicut Airport, since its inception, that is since the beginning of Calicut Airport in 1993, the airport has actually seen its first flight coming there without a terminal building, and people could go and receive the passengers. So that is actually a time where these terminal buildings were not at all required. But now, is it like that? No, because the passengers require experience. Like when they enter, they need an air conditioned environment, and user experience actually has heightened. You have to give the passengers a very good experience. So inside that you have coffee shops, and all the utility shops which a normal passenger has to give. And in the ticket, in the airline ticket, there is an area where it has been mentioned that UDF, user development fee. Why it has been charged? It has been charged so that the passenger gets an experience. It is also used to for the passengers to wait till the aircraft is ready for takeoff. And arrival passengers also get into the terminal, collect their bags, and they go out. So it goes like that. Okay, terminals I'll come, and now we will go to the land side. Land side is actually, when you think what that name, land side, you can have your own assumptions of what this name is meant to be. Land side means the area where you actually approach the airport. For example, the parking lot, the area where the compound wall of the airport. So that is called as land side. It is also used for the airports to give for the passengers to come and park their vehicles. Nothing much there. Okay, so there it goes. Now we will come to the factors of the technological advancements of the airport. Okay, so here there are 5 factors given. What are these 5 factors? 5 factors, five very important factors. I would say it is just like a motto. Motto means without these 5 factors you are not supposed to even implement anything. For example, first one is safety, second one is security, third one is reliability, fourth one is efficiency, fifth one is protection. What is safety? Safety means the sole area where the airport terminal, the aircraft, the passengers, the staffs, everybody has to be given a certain amount of safety. Protection from external forces, protection from any kind of accidents, protection from all the kind of things. So safety, the airline industry has to keep the safety factor as a prime criteria. Okay, second one is security. So what is security? Again, it is somewhat related to safety only, but in it has another meaning. Security means solely individuals, security personnels guarding the passengers and also their luggages and all those things, cargo and all those things. You must have seen CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. They are those are the personnels who give protection to the passengers inside the terminal and also until the aircraft takes off. Third one is reliability. Unless and until you are not reliable, the airline industry is not reliable, you won't see people opting for air travel. See, in a basic, as a person who has worked in the airline industry, I have seen sometimes due to, not because of climatic conditions, due to human error, we have seen flights taking off very late. It is because of some coordination problem due to some passenger coming late, or many number of reasons are there. Imagine a particular airline always on a daily basis making the flights take off in a late fashion. I would say 7 o'clock flight, 7:15 the flight takes off. Next day, 7 o'clock, the same 7 o'clock flight, the flight takes off by 7:30. Do you think it is reliable? You might say that we can take the example of railways here, right? Railways might be doing the same thing, but they actually cover up. Airlines cannot do that because it has a certain amount of travel time. Only in that span it could travel. So that is one thing. So it needs to be reliable. Reliable not only in air travel, it is also reliable for the infrastructure also. For example, I'll tell you, I'm buying a ticket, getting into the airport terminal, going there, thinking that I haven't had food. Okay, when I go there, I see a food stall and I go and ask that I need this food. They say, oh, really sorry, sir, we don't have that thing. What to do? So that the reliability factor comes down. And another one, I go there, outside is very hot. It's so hot outside. I get inside and I see that the airport terminal doesn't have a proper air conditioning. So reliability factor actually cribbles down. It actually falls down there. So what I'll do, I fly to my destination, and when I'm talking with my colleagues or my friends, I would say, oh, please don't take that airport. It is highly unreliable. You don't have anything. I went for parking. I didn't get parking space. When I came inside, there is no air conditioning. When I go to the food stall, there is no food there. And until I board the aircraft, I had to face so many problems. Okay, it goes. And now the fourth one is efficiency. Everything is interrelated. You might be thinking this is all like different names of each other. No, it is actually interrelated. Okay, that is why reliability is also efficiency. You can think like that, but it is not like that. Okay, efficiency is a thing where you need to show its customers, that is the passengers, that we are efficient. The airline industry, this airport is efficient. So efficiency, I don't have to explain much because everyone knows that efficiency is an integral part of everything. So does it for the airline industry also. So efficiency is an important thing. Fifth one, protection. Again, the overall protection. It is not related to security or of the terminal passengers. No, it is not like that. Protection means protection to the environment. Yes, I mean it, because protection need to be given to its peripheral area. Peripheral area means the area aligning to the airport. See, I'll tell you, there are many airports in India as well as in other countries. For example, South Africa has many other airports where it is in the middle of the jungle or middle of the forest area. So when you have aircrafts like Airbus and this Boeing, all these aircrafts coming, landing, and then taking off, when you have all these things, what will happen is that there will be a certain disturbance it does to the environment, especially to the trees, and to the wild animals and all those things. There is a particular airport in Rajasthan in India where I would say you have an habitat of wild deers, which is actually after the fence of the airport. You have wild deers actually coming close to the airport peripheral. So it is actually creating, it is not like for us human beings here. For animals, it is actually creating a havoc, like this engine whirling, and this rotor aircraft, that sound, it all creates disturbance to the wildlife. So not to disturb them, what does the aircraft industry has to do? The aircraft makers have to tone down the energy, tone down the sound. Many things they have to do technology wise, so that the environment could be protected. So if we discuss and go on, I can take the whole day and discuss about these 5 factors. In that also, protection also I can discuss. If there is an episode for that, I can do that also. But everything is clearly mentioned in the textbook. Okay. So now we will see the specifics of it. Okay. So now please flip over to the page where this thing has been given, technological advancements. Please go there. And please if you can just see the first thing, that is in technology, that sentence, it is actually a golden sentence. Technology means the application of science to industrial uses. It will be applicable for everyone. If you go to a car manufacturer, they might say the same thing. You go to an aircraft manufacturer, they will say the same thing. You go to a mobile phone manufacturer, they will say the same thing. You tell it to that person, no? A person who is working in this industry, in a factory, they'll say that, oh yes, it's correct. Technology means the application of science to industrial uses. So that is an important thing. Okay, just remember that, nothing to read or write. Just keep it in your mind. Okay, so that's it. So, and now we will see, if you can just come down to second paragraph, you will see aviation technology constantly evolves to meet the changing needs of its customers. Technological changes are generated by the following factors: security, safety, reliability, efficiency, and protection of the environment, as we discussed. Okay, now we will come to the air side. Air side means, in the early days of aviation, aircrafts were light, slow, and operated in good meteorological. What do you mean by meteorological? Meteorological means conditions to the weather. Weather also plays a very important thing. If the meteorological, we have a government of India has a meteorological department which actually says, oh, today we have rain coming to this district of Kerala. This districts of Kerala is going to face a lot of rain, yellow alert, red alert. How do they do that? The meteorological department does that. Let us not get to that meteorological department topic. I'm just saying, because they have mentioned this word. Meteorological conditions were also good. So light aircrafts, it's very easy. See, if you opt for a CPL, commercial pilot license, you will be using a single mono-engined aircraft, so that it could be taken off without creating any disturbance to the peripheral area. Okay, so what do you mean? Here they could operate out of grass strips, and small hangar was the only ground facility required. Single engine aircraft. See, I'll tell you, you have a highway, national highway here. Even in that national highway, the single engine aircraft can take off and land. It was so easy. Okay, so here, as the aircraft become faster and heavier, and as the need for reliability increased, hard surface runways had to be constructed. There he is saying is that because there was a need for bigger, wider, lot of seats were required, passengers seats were required, they had to create bigger aircraft. So bigger aircrafts cannot land or take off in a muddy, strippy kind of runway patch. It was not possible. So for that they required heavy, surfacing, tarring, toning, black topping, and all those things. They had layers of. If you go to Calicut Airport, or any airports, you can see that the tarring is done in a way that the bigger aircrafts like the Boeing or the Airbus could easily come and land. Okay. Yeah. So here they are saying that as aircraft become faster, heavier, then the need for reliability also increased. Hard surface runways had to be constructed, as I told you. Eventually, these runways were equipped with edge lighting of to allow flights to operate in reduced visibility conditions of the night. That means, I think you must have seen in movie, scenes and all those things where the pilot would be landing, and you could see that the runway is illuminated. That means it is all lit up with lights. How do they do that? They have LEDs, light emitting diodes, which would be infixed on the runway. The runway had a patch which would be infixed with light emitting diodes, which is of high intensity. Even from a nautical miles far away, the pilot can see, oh, that is the runway there. So earlier years, I would say 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s also, this was the technology. Okay. You can just see the figure 1.1.5. It's a trilateral picture has been given: land side, terminal and air side. Okay, the three things are being mentioned there. It went like that, and they're saying the trend lasted until mid 1970s, when new, more powerful engines become available, and the length of takeoff needed by the heaviest aircraft stabilized, and then gradually decreased. That means before, like during the Wright brothers, till the invention of aircraft in the World War era, what happened is that the need to propel the aircraft required like a longer strip, like it required maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers of strip for a single small aircraft. But as the technological advancement and faster engines came, you must have seen the both sides of the winglet of an aircraft. There are four engines installed, like two here, two here. So when the flight is taking off, it required only like maybe 800 meters or like 1000 meters for the flight to take off. So it was usually actually an experience which nobody can provide before the 70s, because before 70s we didn't had this kind of technology. So 90s came, 90s actually gave birth to Airbus series of flights, which was heavy in size, carried 400 plus passengers, 300 plus passengers, and it only required only a certain amount of airstrip. Why? Because the engines were powerful. Okay, so when you have just take your own four-wheeler in your house. Before we had Fiat and Ambassador, how many times you had to start it? It didn't start, right? But nowadays we have power steerings and all those things. Just you click here, the engine is on, right? So it goes like that. And then after the 70s, there was another requirement for the aircraft to take off. A system called air traffic control. It is, again, I'll tell you, I think most of you must have noticed there is a building, a tower kind of thing situated inside the air side of the airports, of every airport. Like it will be a tower which would be which would give instructions. In the top of the tower, they have a computerized system where they will be sitting with a micro set and all, microphone and all those things, where they will be communicating with the cockpit. Cockpit is the area where the pilot and the co-pilot sits. Okay, so they will be communicating through radio wave, and they will be communicating. Nowadays it is satellite communication. Before it was radio wave communication. So now they'll be coming, okay, now you can take off. Now you cannot take off. You need to turn this many degrees left, this many degrees right, and then only it can take off. When I'm saying all these things, don't actually crowd your mind with a lot of thoughts. Oh, take off. How do they take off? I cannot imagine, because I haven't. Even if you have taken a flight, it is very hard to imagine unless you understand the science behind it. Just think how a bird actually takes off. It doesn't take off like this, right? It actually jumps and takes off like that. How an eagle takes off with fluttering its its wings and all, like that. A flight also takes off. Yeah, so it goes like that. And then the latest technology has been installed in the runway called as IFR, Instrumental Flight Rules. It actually under these rules, pilots do not fly the aircraft by visual reference to the ground, nor they maintain adequate separation from the aircraft visually. IFR means Instrumental Flight Rules is actually a technology which helps the pilots to assess self landing. It does not require the help of the ATC. I would say during the 80s and 90s, the control tower used to give an information to the pilots that now okay, now you are going to land. Now lower your altitude. Altitude means height to this many level. otherwise you will miss the runway. You understand what I'm saying? You will miss the runway. You have to touch down at a certain point, and then only it will smoothly slow down, and it will go to the parking lot, bay area, and all these things will happen in a smooth way. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So, in this past 30 years, they had to rely fully on the ATC tower. But now it is not like that. Now we have the IFR technology, which will have a computer screen on the cockpit, which will show that it itself will calculate with the help of satellite technology. In the runway, they will have one emitter which will send information to the satellite, and satellite will emit it back to the cockpit. So in the screen, it will show what is what. Okay, now there's many things are there. Okay, now I think we can take. Only the permission is required from the ATC tower. Okay, aircraft so and so, you can now land. Rest everything is done by the computer. The pilot has just to go by the instructions given by the on the computer screen. That's it. Nothing complicated. Okay, in this textbook we have a brief chapter on these kind of technologies. Okay. And then we have area control centers. That is another area. ILS is actually now commonly used in all the airports and aircrafts. And now the last, we have terminals. The terminal, if you can just see the textbook, terminals will be there. Please go through that. Terminal buildings is the place where passengers, luggage, and freight change between the surface mode and the air mode. Terminals, right? Like the place where, as we discussed in the beginning of the video, we have seen that, I have said that the terminal is the place where the passenger actually goes, sits, waits, and get into the aircraft. Also, other processes are also done, like your luggage has been taken, scanned by the security, and then been taken to the aircraft. It goes like that. While the first terminal buildings were designed only to protect the passengers and employees from the elements. Modern terminals are sophisticated infrastructure with almost unlimited amenities. You know that, right? You go to Dubai airport, best airport in the world. You go to Singapore, they have a fountain in the middle of the airport. Can you imagine having a fountain in the middle of the airport? It's phenomenal, right? Just for enhancing the user experience. Okay, much improvements revolved around the security, efficiency, and comfort of large terminals. Often provide moving sidewalks you have sidewalks like you have like an walkulator. Walkulator means we have seen escalator, right? In malls, if you go, you have an escalator which will, if you just stand, it will take you to the other floor. Here we have walkulators. You just stand, it will take you on the ground thing itself. Like it will take you till the end of the terminal. Okay, because there are like Mumbai International Airport has this technology. Okay, so it goes like that. If you can just see this last paragraph. As security become more important, states implemented measures to prevent unlawful interference with aviation, fencing of the airports, restricted access to aircraft, and screening of passengers, bags, and employees and cargo. Yes, before and all, as I told you, I have to correct it. It was not 1993 which this airport, Calicut airport was formed. It was 87. Okay, so 87, when this first Air India aircraft landed in Calicut airport, they had to literally put a rope in the middle of the runway or in the end of the runway, and this aircraft used to come so close, and the passengers can come down and meet their relatives and all those things. It was so simple it was. But as years went by, population explosion, the number of travelers increased, the need for more user experience also heightened. So everything has changed right now. So you cannot access the aircraft like before. Before and all, you can come as a visitor. You can come near the aircraft and see them. But now it is not possible like that.